school or the singing assignment? Which came first?
So I'd been singing backing vocals for Ayman sir for a few years, and the design had it was already underway before I got the opportunity to sing magically.
Okay, more questions to follow. Next we have Kirti, a very dear friend. You go through Facebook profile of Kirti, you will see every second post, or rather every post that she writes is about non-violence and a very, very different perspective that she brings in. Even for when the majority stands on one side, the Kirti's view will be very different and very fresh. I would want Kirti to speak about her work and the Red Elephant Foundation, the phenomenal work, and the numerous UN, US awards and stuff like that. Okay, talk to us more.
Thank you so much, Sameer, for having me here, and good evening, everyone. CKK sir, I did not mean to scare you. I'm not that mean a person. So just going back, my journey began at a time where the norm was to either be a doctor, an engineer, or a lawyer, or a disgrace to the family. So I went to study the third. I became the fourth, although my parents are very kind not to think of me that way. When I got into this space, it was really starting where the shoe pinches. Having grown up facing gender-based bullying as a child, walking through school hallways, facing a variety of different kinds of bullying, I think it was but a natural choice that I would address this in one way or the other. So it started out as a simple process of storytelling, which was personally cathartic, and it was transformative because my bullies wrote to me with notes of apologies, with even notes of saying that they didn't think about it at the time, which then also presented to me that this concept of just telling your story was so powerful because it turned two lives around. Like one person healed and the other, who probably carried this wound without knowing it, found a way out. So then that night, the Red Elephant Foundation was born, and I think it also speaks to what I've done as a child, which is to ask uncomfortable questions. Because I've always found the elephant in the room. It's time to paint it red so people would take attention and respond to it. So one of my early stories that then informed the gender dimension is just how easily women were erased around me. Whether it was in my history textbooks or whether it was even in news articles around me, I would not find the women there. Simple as that. So the first uncomfortable question I remember asking was of my history teacher, which is, where are the women? Why are we a class of 39 people where you've given 37 male leaders to write about? And just the two regular women everyone knows, Rani Lakshmibai, Jhansi Ki Rani, and Indira Gandhi. So she actually, quite like Shakti, threw a challenge at me, to which I said challenge accepted, and sent me to the library and to find and write my own piece. And believe you me, back then the only woman I found enough to write about was Margaret Thatcher, which is so shameful. There are so many amazing women that have done so many amazing things. And if we're sitting here at this day and age in a panel, just kind of talking about the erasure, it really speaks to years of wrong that has to be undone. So that's where I'm at. I spend my time with young people, with people who work with young people, because it takes a village to raise a child, and ask them uncomfortable questions and lead them to start breaking the unconscious bias in their own thinking. So yeah, that's my story.
Brilliant. Now you understand us is something phenomenal. Very, very few people have taken that road. Give it up for Kirti. You will hear more about what Red Elephant does. Roughly about 3 months back, I was in Symbiosis for a campus interview in Pune. And Symbiosis has this practice of putting their stars pictures, the star from each batch will be put up in that gallery, beautiful gallery, which will have the name, the year, and all the stuff. So, and there was two pictures from the same family. One girl's name read Shruti Bopaya, and the other one was Deepthi Bopaya, right? Two sisters, two stars from two different batches, and that's one of the panelists who's sitting here. Deepthi, who was, yeah?
I said I didn't put was there.
It was there. I mean, I took a picture right before going down and sent it to Shruti. Right? Somebody who had a very lucrative career to move out of that and to move out of the comfort zone and to move into a space which is completely male-dominated today, into sports administration. There are few fields like that, right? You don't find too many female auto drivers today. There are many fields where very rarely do you find women. Sports administration is something which is completely new. But what Deepthi has been able to achieve in the last few years is phenomenal. We would like to hear from you, from being a sports person to wherever you went as an investment banker, and then moving on to into sports administration. How did you take that jump, right? The big jump.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Samir, and